Could everybody come onto the dance floor, please? Now, if you have slippery socks on, could you please take them off? Have you got sticky socks? I said if you've got slippery socks. So if you slip on this floor in your socks, take them off because you want purchase. Okay. Could you stand on the dance floor and have the stairs as the front of the room? And spread yourself out so that you have arm space. Okay. All right. So now this is a lesson in simplicity. So don't embellish. I would invite you not to embellish. Keep it as simple as you can, and gradually you'll sort out the space between you. All right? Step forward and bring the feet together. Step backwards and bring the feet together. Now, how long does it take for that intention, when I offer you that intentional movement, how long does it take to really land in you? Step to the side and bring the feet together. Step to the side and bring the feet together. Step backwards and bring the feet together. Now, thank God you just had a beautiful talk on attention, right? Step forward and bring your feet together. Walk forward. Stop. Walk backward. Stop. Walk sideways. Stop. Walk backwards. Stop. Okay, bring your feet together. So whenever you stop, always bring your feet together side by side so that you feel balanced. All right. So now what are some of the options that we had there? Step forward together. Go ahead. Step forward together. So that's one option. Second option, step backwards together. Third option, step sideways together. And some of you go left and some of you go right, depending on your politics. Yeah. Walk forward. Stop. Walk backwards. Stop. Walk sideways. Stop. Right? So there are options. One more option. Walk in a circle. Some of you are meandering. I've never seen such a funny circle. Now you go ahead. So this is the game. You have those very simple set of options. Step forward, step back, step side. Walk forward, walk back, walk side, walk in a circle. Yes, very simple set of options. Don't embellish. Form a clear intention, then do it. Some of you are embellishing. Stop it. Stop malingering. Malongering. Stop it. Form the intention, do it, stop. Another intention, form it, do it, stop. Another intention, form it, do it, stop. It can be whatever one of those possibilities are there, but all the time you clearly form the intention and then you do it. stay within the dance floor and don't bump into anybody. Okay, they're the constraints. Simple, don't bump into anybody, stay on the dance floor. Go. Form the intention, do it, stop. It's like watching a chess game. Laughing is permitted. So it's always the same. Form the intention, do it, stop. Form another intention, do it, stop. Some of you are walking backwards on a diagonal. That wasn't an option. Wasn't an option. You can walk in a circle if you like. And some of you are finding places on that dance floor where there's a lot of wiggle room. Yes, you very intelligent people. You look for where is this space? And some of you actually enjoy navigating using this game. It's nice to see. It's just a step to the left. Oops, you see, I'm tempting you into embellishment. That's your teacher's fault, not yours. Yeah. Good. You got that? Good game? Who's roughly my... Kevin. We're about the same height. So, exactly the same game. No different variations with the stepping patterns, nothing. Kevin, you hold my wrist with that hand, that one, yeah. And I hold your wrist with this hand. Now, what's important is that the arms are down here and they're long and they're hanging. Can you feel how I'm hanging? You're hanging and I'm hanging, we're kind of hanging. Yep, kind of hanging. Now, one of us has to be the leader. Okay? I thank you. No embellishment. Yep. Better. Yeah. Okay, got it? So now let's... So now what I need to chill out on is my timing, because I'm not doing what I told you to do. Okay, so what's my intention? Settle. Okay. Now, the thing that's letting you down is these signaling. They're these army things. Yeah. The fact that you've got looseness in them. Yeah. If you keep them reasonably stiff but not over stiff, then the communication goes through to your body straight away. Yeah. Now loosen them up. Yeah. And you see, then there's this laxity. And that laxity gives him a lag. There's a lag in time. Yeah, I have to take up the slack. But if you take out the slack out of your arms, yeah, you don't have to stiffen your shoulders, just take the slack out of your arms. Yeah. Can you feel the immediacy of that? Yeah, it's pretty immediate. So my idea is not to trick you, really. It's just not. It's just not to trick you. But to be really clear in my intent. To be really clear in my intent. Be really clear in my intent. See, there it goes. Feel that slack? Yeah. So there's something about this connection between us that's important. Yeah. So could you go ahead and split into two groups, some observers and some in the middle, because that'll create more space, and watch this little dance go on. Yeah, half and half. Oh, pick your partners, do-si-do. Thank you, Kevin. I didn't thank you. Sorry. Yeah. So one person holds the one wrist and the other person holds the other person's wrist. So there's an equality there. It's not you holding someone and someone holding you. Whenever you're ready. That's all right. I was really nervous. You could feel it, right? The more leaders, if you're leading, the more indefinite you are with your intention, the more difficult it's going to be communicated to the person. They're going to be guessing. Be definite in your intention. Now, switch roles, please. Switch roles. Okay. Could we, thank you very much. Could we swap who's in the middle? Come off the dance floor. Now, oh, a duet. Now, a little bit of commentary. A little bit of commentary. May we? May we, monsieur, madame, messieurs, s'il vous plaît? Yeah, I take this one. Now, there's something about maintaining your form that creates the communication. If I start to take a step back and then do that, or just go, it's fuzzy. So how do you maintain your form? Yeah, there's something. So what am I trying to say? How can the intention be all the way through you, not just something in your head? So that, so you go, so Lisa, if I slow it down, oh, okay, you think it's that. All right, we'll do that then. Yeah. But see, that's maintaining form. That's maintaining form. That's maintaining form. Form, form, form. I am a robot. No. We'll just waltz right off the table. Okay, have fun. Thank you, Lisa. Next batch. Hey. Yeah. That's nice. All right. So let that be. Come and gather in a circle. We'll do some line dancing. No, you don't do line dancing in a circle, do you? So why do this? Why do this? Why do this activity? That is the right answer, my friend. Yeah, exactly. Yes, anything else? Listening, yeah. Indicating, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So if we're going to talk about the hands-on aspect of FI, this makes absolute sense, right? But we do the same thing with our voices. It's just that we don't think that way. But in terms of hands-on work, this is what we do. Now, this is not my idea, by the way. Putting this together in this kind of little silly way, that was my idea. But this idea of doing this kind of demonstration was Feldenkrais's idea. It's not mine. So this little video clip that I'm about to show you is Feldenkrais doing what you were just doing. Okay? So if you want to grab a seat or not, if you want to put your socks back, you're most welcome. And we'll have a look at this video clip. It's a short one. I'll check the sound so that we know we've got sound. Yeah. Yep. So let me contextualize the video. The students at the Amherst training program are now in their second year, and he started to introduce them to hands-on techniques, if you want to call it like that. He started to introduce them to functional integration. And they've just been, the exercise that they've just been doing is someone sitting in front, you've got your hand on the top of their head, and you're just feeling for the availability of their head to go left like that. Just that. That's all I've been doing for about a quarter of an hour. He comes back, and this is what he's got to say. He stops the group, and he says this. I want to show you what you're doing, what you should do, and in a minute you'll get someone who's look, suppose I take that man and take his hands like that and do not just say anything. Look, there are two hands, and don't you? If I hold you, or you hold one hand to mine, there's nothing to it. But now watch. How do you know that I want to do that? Why did you go forward? How did you know it? You feel it. How did you feel it? You just did it. You didn't think you know that you feel. All right? Now, that's very funny. And now, see what I'm, huh? Look, and now look. How do we
What? How do you know? No. But how is it? No amount of how many words will I have to do in order to use that? And now we did that like that. And now what about? What do you think of that? Now, this is functional integration.
That's Alan, yes, and that was Stephen Rosenholtz that he was dancing with. So as a very, very broad description, he says that's functional integration. And in that collection of writings that I gave you, there's that extract from The Elusive Obvious where he talks about dancing together, that story of dancing together. That's it. That when you're in a dance hall with somebody that's a bit left-footed and they're not sure they want to dance, if someone's kind enough and patient enough to see you there and entice you onto the dance floor, then they connect with you. At least in the old style dancing, that's what it was, right? They connect with you, so it's touch to touch. Now, as the person being held, you sense there's some relationship between what you sense on your body and what the person's doing. You've heard me use this word, correlation. You don't necessarily even think it, just like Feldenkrais said, you don't necessarily think it, you don't even necessarily feel it, but you start to form an understanding that there's some relationship between what you feel and what's being asked for. Then you realize something else. There's not only a relationship between me and you, but there's some sort of relationship between this stuff that's playing in the background called music. Yeah, so me and you, music, situation called dance hall. This is dancing. It's not martial arts. Could be martial arts. Different context, martial arts. That's the same process as, that's the same scenario that I understand FI in. Someone comes to you, you put your hands on them, you start to form an intention, you start to move yourself. What was that? You did this last week. Remember all of this with the pelvis? That's simple. And if the person's listening and they're totally available, they'll just move with you. Yeah. All right. No music involved, just your intention and they're listening. So what kind of dance do you want to make with them? Do you want to do a twisty dance? Do you want to do a rolly dance? Do you want to do a jello pudding dance? Do you want to do an arm reach dance? What kind of dance do you want? And how can you communicate that so not a word has to be spoken? You see him trying to get to that? I don't have to tell you anything. And yet, how did you know that? How did you know to do that? That's functional integration. And then everything else is trickery. Just tricks, a bunch of tricks. A little bit of understanding of human behavior, a little bit of understanding of biomechanics. Tricks. But that's the fundamental, that relationship that exists between two people engaged in an activity where they're resonating with each other. That's not a trick. That's the juice. That's the juice of FI. Absolute. Squeeze it out. Distill it. Have the essence. Homeopathic doses. It works. Yeah. Does that make sense? Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Now, you could see the way I set it up here was much tighter. But I would say that's completely improvised. He hasn't necessarily planned that out. By looking at it, that's not planned out. That's on the spot. And you could blow that out into all sorts of different games and things like that. Yeah. So here's my suggestion for this afternoon. I'm going to show 2 more videos that I think are going to be related to your practice, your FI practice. So this morning, we went through that script and you got to play with the script. And everything was about the force passing through you with a push. Yeah, it was all about the pushing force. What about the pulling force? Would it be possible to explore the same kind of lesson, but instead of the person providing the push, you provide the pull? So no energy from them, all the energy from you. Yeah. So here I am. What's the first reference intentional movement? Yeah, that's the... So that will be your first reference intentional movement. You will pull them and you will sense, are they ready to go or not? Are you going to boogie or are you not going to boogie? And which part of you is not going to boogie with this? Okay? So that's the starting point. Is this making sense? Lying on the table. Now here's the tight constraint. You can see I've changed my mind, Lisa. Here's the tight constraint. You are allowed to move the person, but only to put some sort of support under them. Not to move them to jiggle the pelvis or do this or do that. In other words, to eventually shape their body in such a way using supports and blankets and rollers and whatever you want, so that when you pull, it feels like nothing and they just go. Yeah? So the only movement apart from the pull that you're allowed to do is to reposition them into a configuration that will allow the pull to go more easily through. Everything that was in that script will work. You just have to find out how to pack them up and how to position the limbs. That's up to you. And everything else, feel free to explore. Does that make sense? So it's the clarity of the single intention for that arm to go. Yeah? Everything there. You can see how my legs are shaping, right? Yeah. That's the same as a clear intention. Clear intention. So that's the unitary intention. 2 videos. First video sounds like... No. First video is a video of Mia Siegel teaching at one of her training programs. And she's making this connection between judo and Feldenkrais. And she's introducing, I'm sort of packing it. She's also introducing this notion of flow. And it's not a woo-woo kind of a woo-woo flow. It's the flow of forces through the body. Just like you did with that. That's why we did the games the other day, yeah? So you could feel force flows. And what she says is, when I'm connected with a person, when I start to move, I don't want to feel my force flow being interrupted. If it's interrupted, I know it's somewhere there. Okay? So here she goes. Seagull. Not seagull. You're gonna have to up the. You're gonna have to up the amps.
In martial arts, the that one looks for is to become very acquainted or very clear about the opponent. Like you become one with somebody. So you try to feel his body, even through here, in such a way that if you do this, it's not only the shoulder, but I am planning to get all the way to the foot. Here. So I want to do this, but I'm still not satisfied because it doesn't feel to me like I've got him. We spoke about trajectories and about flow. So I want to flow my finger through his body to my foot. So that if I move myself like this, he also moves like this. If I change, he also moves like this. If I change, he also moves like this. And they practice a long time shifting the weight. And when the weight is shifted really in a good direction, then you can. So I'm waiting until I feel he's standing on this foot and that foot. And then once I feel that we are really in the same sort of connection, that if I move my body, he'll move his body. And that's the moment you wait for. Afterwards you can, whatever. Same here, just lie down. And I want to feel that I'm like one with her. And when I go to pull the arm, if I pull the arm, it's nothing. I should pull her from my toes. I should be one with her, and then if I move a little bit, I can take her off the bed. Because it's a trajectory that is uninterrupted. That's the flow I spoke about this morning. That it will flow all the way through. But it won't here because she's stuck in the bed. And in order to go to the foot, then something stops me in the pelvis. I can feel it. So you have to find a way. And then once I find that, here, now I feel that I can go further down. Can you feel it further? And you look at the feet, they will move more. But you find a place where it doesn't stop somewhere, here or here or here, just goes right through. And when you get that place, if you do it with your elbows, you ruin it, because you're breaking the flow. You want to keep the flow and do it with your whole body. Like I'm moving now backwards and coming back. I'm going backwards and coming back. So when I did this, moves her all the way to the pelvis. Also not good enough. This goes, you can see it's another story. Yeah. If I go there, it will be there. You can see that lines flowing through. And you want to connect.
Switch your mic on, please.
Trajectories and flows. So, you know, when you are doing the pulling activity and your partner held the object down, that's what she's talking about. You suddenly feel that there's a stop. She called it stuck. There's a stuckness there. It's not the trajectory, it's the flow that's been interrupted. Yeah. And how did she say it? You feel it all the way through to your toes. So there's no part of you that doesn't have that intention in you. It's all the way through you. Now, where does this idea come from? Moshe got it from somewhere, possibly judo. so you can organize all of yourself to throw somebody. But I think it's earlier than that. It's far earlier than that. It comes from his Jewish heritage. When one prays in the Jewish heritage, there's a particular word that's used. It's called kavanah. You pray to God with your kavanah. What's the English translation? Intention. If there's no sincere intention behind the prayer, you're wasting your time. God doesn't answer prayers like that. God answers the kinds of prayers that actually you bring your whole self to with a particular quality. This is what she's indicating. And Feldenkrais finds the resonance in judo. So I'm going to play you a short clip of a very important fellow from the United States, a rabbi, and he's talking about awareness, and he's talking about kavanah, which is intention. He's talking about these two things, but please know that he's talking about it from the perspective of being a practicing Jew. And I don't mean that kind of practicing Jew that just follows all the rules, but that kind of practicing Jew that wants a real relationship with God. So, okay. Oh, doesn't he look like a grandfather? Oh, he's a kind of grandfather I'd like. Okay, here we go.
There was a great Rebbe in Jerusalem. He was the Slonim Rebbe. And he published a series of books that are called Netivot Shalom, Paths of Peace. A friend of mine sent me, Rabbi Akiva Mann, sent me a copy of that book. And I started to devour it. And I wanted to get the rest of the books. And I wanted to meet him. Because sometimes when a person writes an idea and wants to make sure this idea goes through, everything else he was just teaching one thing. And the teaching goes like this. How could I be close to God, to be in Zveku, to be logged on, if you will, to be in the network with God? And he says, for that you don't have to work hard. Because you're constantly being created. You don't make your heart beat. God makes the heart beat. You don't make the nerves in your brain. If you God makes that happen. You're constantly in touch with the Creator. You don't need anyone to put you in touch with God. The only thing is you're not aware of it. So you have to work on the awareness. So he begins, Das Kanita Nechasata. If you have acquired awareness, you don't lack anything. But if not, if you lack awareness, what do you own? You have nothing. Okay? So I read his book, and I asked a friend of mine to make an appointment for me so I could go and see him. And this was about 5 years ago. I went to Mikveh, I prepared to meet him, and I came in, and this Gabbai was standing next to him, a frail old man with beautiful eyes. And he gave me the new, what is it that you need? What is it that you want? And I said, Rebbe, I came to ask of you an act of kindness, a gmilut chasadim. And he looked, figuring most of the time when you ask him those questions, it means money. Yeah. So he looked at me and I said, all I want from you is that you should say the pasuk. וידעת היום והשבות על אבותיך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים, בעל עולם מתחת אימות. That also was that we should know today, not enough here, Hashem, put it to your heart, that Hashem is God, the heavens above, earth below, nothing else exists. I wanted him to say it was his kavanah. He turned to his gabbai and he said, and smiled, S2melbseg9d7c was a S2melbseg9d7c. This is a Jew who understands God. Okay? And took my hand, put it on his heart, and talked to me for about 20 minutes. It was such a wonderful thing. If I could give over to you the vibe that I got at that time, I would like to do it. And what would happen would be that then we could close our eyes and we'd have no trouble to place ourselves in your holy presence, God, knowing we're out of the bubble of our ego, facing you. Shiviti, Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey, and Negi, Amen. So, working on this awareness in a way that we are participants in it, that this is not something outside of ourselves, becomes the important thing.
So, having that intention, holding that intention for the person that you're working with in a way that speaks to you, which then speaks to the person. When he closed his eyes and was doing all this business, yeah, he was showing you what that's like. He entered into that state. There are videos that you can watch of Moshe, and you'll see him entering into that state of connection with the person. So it's not only that you are pulling and pushing, but you're actually present with your full intention for them, with them, to do what? What is it that you need? What is it that you want? Feldenkrais asked the same questions. And then another one, what is it that you can accept? Those three questions, did Julie talk about this with you last time? What is it that they want? What is it that they need? What is it that they can accept? They're really key questions. Yeah. So having seen a little bit of me, having connected a little bit with the roots, the very roots of this method, because you know, this is heartfelt Judaism. You could say, do we ever do heartfelt ATM? Do you ever do heartfelt ATM, where it's not just the biomechanics? Different world, yeah. So, the task at hand is, one of you is the teacher, the other is the student. You hold for your student the intention of that trajectory moving so easily through them that it's like nothing interferes, nothing. You hold that potential for them. That's you being in relation to the student. Okay? You can certainly play with where you put the arm. Over here, forward, back, all the way back. It's up to you. But, like I said, the only movements that you're allowed to do with the rest of them is to move them to reconfigure the limbs or to stack things underneath them or in the front of them or whatever you're going to plan to do. So that's as simple as it is. No need to follow script. You've done the script. It's in you. The script is in you. Go and play, which is different from go and pray. One's got a speech impediment. Pray. Yeah. We'll do the swap over tomorrow.